All right, guys, it's Mike from Higher Ground Nomad here with Alex Elliott. She has been an absolute beast when it comes to affiliate marketing and specifically building a tribe using Facebook groups. So today we're going to talk to Alex about some techniques she has used to actually grow her own group. And we're going to touch base on affiliate marketing, maybe some other affiliate marketing offers she might be going after. So I'm excited to have Alex on the show today. So Alex, my first question for you is, how did you get started with affiliate marketing, and why do Facebook groups matter?
Ooh, such a good question. So, hey guys, good to meet you. I started actually with affiliate marketing back in like 2013, 2014, about to bookend at 2013 to 2015. That was like my main thing that I was doing. And I was building at the time little niche sites, like little SEO niche sites, and just writing reviews of software, and kind of like I look back now and I'm like, oh, they were cute. Like I wouldn't want to show them to anybody now, but that's what I was doing. Like I learned to do that, and I was making these little kind of micro niche sites, and had a bunch of them. Was trying to rank for different long tail keywords and stuff like that, and was doing okay. It wasn't like great money, it wasn't raining from the sky, but it was okay. And got shiny object syndrome and kind of bounced onto something else, and never like shut those sites down, just kind of let them go. And I think in their heyday, they were probably doing a couple $100 each, and it was like adding up to something livable. Over time, when they weren't, they were a little neglected, that lessened, but there was always this little flow. There was always something coming in, right? Even if it was just like $30 from a site or something. And that concept of work once and get paid over and over, just really hit home for me pretty recently. I had moved on to doing something else. I was running a digital marketing agency, primarily doing, started out with Facebook ads, and then kind of moved away from that and started doing Pinterest marketing for other companies. And very surprisingly, my mom had a huge near-death accident. And she ended up like completely incapacitated, required like full-time help. I had previously in my career been a nurse. And so it kind of fell on me as the only healthcare provider in the family to step up and be that person who was going to take care of her. So that meant I ended up losing my digital agency, because I went from kind of this beast working, 12-hour days like a maniac in my agency, and serving clients, to maybe having an hour, 2 hours a day to do client work. And so unfortunately, over a pretty quick period of time, 2-3 weeks, I lost most of my clients because I couldn't keep up with the work. And that was pretty devastating. And so it was like, okay, now here I am, my one big online success had gone. And I was like, what in the world am I going to do? Like the money wasn't coming in anymore. I was like, just sort of stuck, freaking out, and here I am taking care of my mom. And so I one day went and did the digital equivalent of like searching in the couch cushions for change, because I was like running out of money. And I said, let me go check this PayPal account that I had, and I hadn't checked in for a little bit. And what was very interesting to me, and what I noticed immediately was, my client invoices weren't coming in. Those payments weren't coming in anymore. But what was still there, so steady and so faithful, were these little affiliate marketing payments that were coming in from these crazy little niche sites that I had made years ago. And I was like, this is nuts. Why am I not doing this? Why am I not doing this full time? This is crazy town. I need to be doing this. Work once, keep getting paid over and over and over. So I thought, man, I don't have enough money to go SEO some sites and wait 6 months, right? Like that used to be the game. I don't have 6 months of funds to like hold it out. Like, what am I going to do? And then, like a light bulb, it was like, wait, funnels, duh. I had been using funnels in my digital marketing agency as lead gen. I thought, God, I could put affiliate offers into funnels and let's see what happens. Like probably people are doing that, right? And I claim to be bright, but yeah, people were doing that. So I went out, I started like looking this up. I found a bunch of great affiliate marketers out there, making incredible offers with affiliate products inside of high converting sales funnels. And I was like, boom, that is what I want to do. That's it. So I started, emulating Rachel S. Lee, Chris Fong, Spencer Meek, like all these people. I started following them and trying to do what they do and do what they did. And that was kind of the beginning. And I got sucked into this, this amazing world of, this marriage of affiliate marketing, like these amazing high ticket or recurring offers, married with high converting sales funnels. And here I am full time now, just a couple months later.
That's awesome. That's a fantastic story. And I think one of the things that I kind of picked up on with what you were saying there is, I like to think of it as digital real estate. So when you put out a small piece of content, you're putting out content on all these little websites, and you totally forgot about them, but yet they were still producing income for you. So that's why I like to almost think of it as digital real estate. It's a long-term game. It's not a quick thing that anybody can, sort of get rich quick scheme. It's produced valuable content that people are interested in. And then, from there, they actually might click on one of your affiliate links based on the content that you put out. And that's one thing that I love about affiliate marketing. And obviously you do too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my next question for you is more to do with the Facebook side of things.
Absolutely.
Okay. So,
yeah, I didn't really touch on that. I'm sorry. I kind of went one way and forgot the second half of your question. Thank you for the reminder.
It's all good. So, why do Facebook groups matter for affiliate marketing, and how are you able to build such a loyal tribe within your Facebook community? Because one thing I was impressed with, I'm in your group, and your tribe seems very engaged. So congratulations with that. And
thank you.
And your followers are they absolutely love you and love your content.
I love them.
So, why do Facebook groups matter for affiliate marketing?
So this is such an awesome question because it has so many layers of answers. On its face, kind of from a global perspective, Facebook group, there's a couple of reasons. Facebook has just come out and announced that it's going to be putting so much more focus on, less focus on the news feed, less focus on, business pages. We all know that business pages have an organic reach of about 0.08%, less than 1%. I mean, it's pay to play, right? If you're a business on Facebook, but not really. If you are a business on Facebook that knows how to leverage Facebook groups, then it's not pay to play anymore. And you can absolutely leverage the power of what I call tribes or communities inside of these groups to, to do so many different things, create a culture around an attractive character, whether it be yourself or your brand's character or whatever it is. But you can create a group of people who are really passionate about maybe a single topic or related topics, and serve them at a very high level with things like tutorials, education, interviews, tools, all kinds of different things, software, whatever, events, even, there's just so many different ways that you can educate and serve and support your people along their journey, related to any kind of topic that you're involved in. Or, let's say you're in the dog training niche or whatever, you can start a group of dog lovers and help them understand how to better take care of their dogs, or better train their dogs, or better, whatever it is, or have events. There's just so many things that you can do with community and with tribe. And if there's anything that's happened, kind of in our modern world, it's funny because technology has served to both, we have the perception that technology brings us closer. And unfortunately, it has served also to alienate. And I think that I heard something the other day on the radio that the average American has not made, oh my God, sorry, I thought I turned that off. That the average American has not made a new friend in 5 years. Not a single new friend. I'm talking not an online friend, but a real face-to-face, let's go have coffee and talk it out friend. And that's really sad. That's we're losing human connection. So I think what's happening is we crave connection. We crave it desperately, but we're stuck in this matrix, and we don't go out, and we don't, or whatever, or we don't connect with people in real life. So what's left is this opportunity to fill the void, this opportunity to create an online community that really matters to people, that really means something to people, that makes them feel like they have a home and they have people who care about them and celebrate their wins, or console them in their losses, or care about what they say or feel or think. So, groups give you an opportunity to really connect with people, support people, make them feel like they're a part of something, make them feel like they can stand for something, or just be a part of a group. And so that for me has been a really interesting development, that when you give people a place to call home, they feel an identity and they align with you, and you can use a group to attract the right people and repel the wrong people, right? You can really do that by how you create that group, and the description you use, the type of language you use, the things you do, and the ways in which you engage people, the types of conversations you start inside of your group, the content you provide. So that's super, super important. And now Facebook has said, we're gonna really highlight groups. We're gonna really try to push people into groups. We're really going to feature groups. So no better time to build a group around your brand, your products that you're promoting, your suite of products, your own personal brand, a topic, whatever, and then you can figure out ways to both engage and monetize. I think those are the two things. You want to be engaging all the time, and then you want to be figuring out how to monetize. And there's tons of ways to do that on both, ends.
Awesome. That's a really in-depth answer, and I really appreciate you going deep on that one.
Absolutely.
So for people that are just starting out, like people that may be just thinking about getting a Facebook group, and they're thinking, wow, how am I ever going to build this tribe? So what is one sure successful way to get started and to actually take action and create your own group and maintain that excellent engagement that you got going on for yourself?
So I'm not gonna lie, it's work, right? We'll be totally transparent. Maintaining an active, vibrant, engaged group is work, and the work is particularly front-loaded. So that's the good news. The good news is you'll build it, and it'll be brick by brick in the beginning, and it will be work, and it'll feel a little bit like a slog in the beginning. That first slog from 0 to 100 members is the longest, hardest, loneliest slog you'll ever take, right? You got to get used to posting into the void. You got to get used to being your own biggest fan, because nobody cares, right? Like, you just got to keep doing it. And then there's like a tipping point, a critical mass that's reached, something starts to happen. And a couple of things are happening during that period of time. If you've continually been publishing into your group, you're finding your voice and you're starting to resonate, and people are starting to talk about you out in the community and say, hey, have you checked out, so-and-so's group? It's such a great place to be. Come on over, so your tribe members start to be your biggest marketing force, as it were. And also, you yourself start to get a little bit more confident. You're getting a little bit more engagement, a little bit more feedback, that sort of thing. So there's multiple things happening there. But to get started, you just have to get started. You need to, you need to just commit and say, hey, okay, I'm going to build a group, and I'm going to do what it takes to build this group. I'm going to figure out how to create a group cover, right? Go to Canva, make your group cover, or you can hire a Fiverr to do that. You can, there's a very powerful tool, it's free, totally, called the Facebook profile funnel, right? Like, how do I actually get people to know that I have a group, right? At all. Like, what am I going to pound the pavement, tell everybody I have a group? There's ways to do this. It's called attraction marketing. And basically you create what's called a Facebook profile funnel. You set up your profile cover photo to let people know, hey, I've got this group. You put the title, you kind of make like a faux button, get access to my group here, join here. And it looks as though people can click that button, and frequently they do. And what happens is then your little photo pops up with a little description. You say, hey, join my group, blah, 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 and there's your link. And they can just bloop, join right there into your group. And you really architect your profile, your personal profile, to lead people to one place and one place only, and that is your group. That's why we call it a funnel, right? It's funneling them into one decision, and that is join your group. So there's a Facebook profile funnel. Once you have that engineered and architected and created, then you want to go out to related places online and start being a magnet, start providing so much value and interaction and support and answering questions and whatever, that people are like, man, who is that guy? Who is that girl? I want to know more. They click on your profile and fall into your profile funnel. It's wonderful. So that's kind of how I was able in the beginning to get, I think we got to 1,000 people in like under 60 days or less, or 45 days or something to that, effect. But it was a lot of hard work. It was knowing how to architect a Facebook profile funnel, setting my privacy settings wide open, right? So that everybody and their mother would fall into the funnel. And it sometimes means wackadoos, right? You're going to get weirdo messages. It's fine. Insta block, doesn't matter. Just keep focusing on what you're doing. You know, the weirdos are there no matter what. But, you just focus on, you know, your mission of building this incredible tribe. Be present. You know, in the beginning, I still spend a lot of time in it, but in the beginning, I was all day, every day in my group, answering questions, posting stuff. Hey guys, I'm reading this thing. I just had this incredible insight. What about you? What do you think about this? You just engage, ask questions. Some things are going to fall flat. Some of your posts are going to get like one measly little like. Other posts will go viral. Like you, and the cool thing is you'll start to get some insights about what your people want. There's this wonderful tab when you're a group owner that's called Group Insights. And you literally can click on it. You can see what's the demographic of your group, how many men versus women, how many, where's everybody from? You can like down to the city. It's very granular. Like, you know, my city, weirdly enough, happens to be like my biggest city happens to be Los Angeles. It's so weird. I live in Florida. Like, it's so funny, but I got a lot of LAers in my group. I also have a lot of Canadians in my group. It's so cool. So, you know, you can learn really neat things. You know, what's the age range of people? And my favorite part is you can see which posts have the most engagement. So then once you start to get that feedback, you're like, oh, that kind of post really resonates with people. How can I model what works? How can I do more of that? Right? And then you see your least engaged post and you go, oh, how can I do less of that? Right? And you start to tailor your content to what people want. And that is the reward for slugging it out. The reward is the data, because then the data actually informs all of your next decisions. And it means that you're going to drop a post that's almost guaranteed to hit, right? Because you already know what people are going to respond to. Yeah. So that becomes very powerful. And when you are very, very engaged, something interesting happens. Your people start to engage, and you get to a point where, you know, the group starts to almost grow beyond you and become more. And 85% of the engagement is no longer you. It's people talking to each other, supporting each other, answering each other's questions. And you can kind of go, "Ooh, wow, that's amazing what I created," and like step back a little bit and let them take the helm a little bit. Getting good mods at that point is important. And I've started to take that step as well. So yeah, that's some of it.
Well, that's a ton of value right there. I think in summary, just real quick, you mentioned, you know, creating your personal profile as a funnel to actually lead to your Facebook group. And that's huge.
Correct.
And the other thing I think in summary you mentioned is, you know, kind of tracking your engagement and see which posts are getting the most engagement, which posts are getting the least engagement. So that way there, you know, more what to do of, you know, more, or sorry, what to do less of as well. So
absolutely,
that's a lot of value right there, and really appreciate that insight. And I'm going to actually take that knowledge and incorporate that into my group as well. So
absolutely.
Excellent.
Thank you.
I guess I didn't have this question pre-framed or pre-planned, but
right.
I see the amount of work that you actually put into the group now, and these questions are running through my head is, how do you juggle between, you know, putting so much effort into your Facebook group and still focusing on your actual business?
So my Facebook group is my business, and I'll explain what I mean by that. If you are properly monetizing your Facebook group, then it is your business. So meaning, you know, you want to architect the group in a similar way that you're very intentional about architecting your Facebook profile for an intended outcome. You want to architect your group also for intended outcomes. Some of the intended outcomes are, you want high engagement. You want people to feel like, you know, I always say to people, like, you want to so heavily engineer the experience in your tribes or your customers' favor that they feel like they're stealing from you. They're like, man, I got so much value out of this exchange. Like, I can't believe I just like scammed her like that, right? Like, you want them to feel that way. You want them to always feel like they got the better end of the deal. So, and when you do that, the law of reciprocity kind of kicks in, and people are like, man, you know, you've just been giving to me. I have to use your link for something. I can't stand it, right? They have to even the score. So, and you wouldn't believe when you're doing this and you're just providing value all the time. like my DMs are full of people like, hey, can I get your link for this? Hey, give me your link for this. Hey, that live you just did was amazing. Where's your link for this? So I'm dead serious when I say, when you focus less on, you know, how do I monetize every minute of this, and more on how do I actually provide value to these people, like the score weirdly evens itself out. So there's that, first of all. And then second of all, you want to make sure you have things like a very robust, you know, like resources. So if you go to my group, I have a resources I recommend document, and it's pinned right to the top. And that is a living, breathing Google Doc that I have, that I update all the time. Every time I come across a really cool new affiliate product or program that I'm promoting, or course or whatever, I'm dropping it in there. So it is a living, breathing document. And anytime anybody says to me, hey, I need your link for this, that, and the other, you know what I do? I say, hey, I'm going to go tag you in this document. And then it constantly kind of bumps to the front of the group anytime I tag anybody. So it's all about, you know, keeping people. I love people to death when they DM me, but I try to always redirect to the group, because I want that engagement. I want them on that resource document. When I welcome people in my group, every time I take the opportunity to welcome them, I'm usually 9 times out of 10 welcoming them, and then drawing their attention to whatever I'm promoting at the time. Or if there, you know, if there's some awesome thing going on that I want to make sure that they pay attention to, that also possibly has a monetization, you know, factor to it, I'm driving them there. So and anytime you are doing, like, let's say a tutorial, let's pretend I was doing a tutorial on ClickFunnels, or I was doing a tutorial talking all about, you know, what I'd learned in the One Funnel Away challenge. I would obviously be linking my affiliate links in that tutorial inside of the group, or anything like that. So you're looking constantly for ways to marry value with value. And what do I mean by that? I mean, marry the value that you're giving them with the value that they can also give you. So you want it to be this constant win-win, win-win, win-win all the time. So hopefully that makes sense.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. And man, the amount of value you're giving in this interview is crazy. So
that's awesome. That makes me happy. I want you to walk away and feel like, whoa.
I'm actually blown away, to be honest. And
cool.
The amount of passion that you have for your group, and the amount of passion that you show just even in this interview is, it resonates, and
Sweet.
It's contagious.
That's awesome. It makes me happy. I love this stuff. I honestly feel like I don't have to work anymore, because I love what I do so much that this is just like play. It's fun. I get to do this every day. I mean, right now this is a Saturday morning, and I was like, woo, I get to do this. This is cool. This is fun. Like, you know, getting to do this. It's great.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, that's crazy. So one thing I want to summarize on with what you were saying is, so what Alex is doing is she's actually using her Facebook group to run her business. And basically, in summary, that is her business. So that's a great piece of value bomb right there. And anybody that's thinking about starting a Facebook group, I mean, she's proof in the pudding that it works. Get started and take action and join her group. Watch what she does, and, you know, model after what she's doing.
It works. I mean, I'm doing 5 figures a month from this group. So it works. And the group is not that big, guys. I haven't even cracked 2,000. I'm getting close. I'm very close to 2,000, but I haven't cracked 2,000 members. But guys, it's not the size of your group that matters. It's the buy-in. It's the engagement rate. It's the, you know, I would take 2,000 rabid fans over 20,000 tepid, meh, you know, not interested, not engaged individuals, right? So it's not the size of your tribe, it is the passion of your tribe, right? And so if you can tap into that and really, you know, stir that for your people, that's more powerful than anything. It's more powerful than sheer numbers. So just understand that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Well, like it's not 2,000 people in your group. It's like, or if you had 20,000, you have 2,000 quality members who are engaged, versus having, say, a larger group of even 20,000 that they're just hanging out. So
they're just taking up air. Yeah, just real estate, like not actually engaging. Yeah. And I'll tell you, it's funny because I'm not actually like super committed to the numbers. I actually probably disapprove more than people approve in the group. Like we have, I don't know, somewhere close to 100 people apply to the group every single day. Probably 50% of them get declined. I'm very, very selective. So I want to make sure we have mutual friends. I want to make sure they didn't just open their account yesterday. I want to make sure that they we are in mutual groups that I go to people's profiles and I check them out. And I'm like, it's like a job interview. Like cause I want quality people in my group. I don't want people who are just there to take. And I tell my moderators this, I'm like, I don't want takers. I want people who are going to come in and give more than they take, because that is what this group is all about. And so we vet people actually who come in the group. And if all I see on your profile is like, I don't know, some rando Forex binary option, Bitcoin, blah, 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 whatever. And you're nothing wrong with that, but it's just, it's kind of not where my group is. And if I haven't run into you in this space and I don't see you out there like giving lots of value, it doesn't mean that it's never a good fit. It may not just be a good fit right now. Let's come closer together in the future and maybe try again. But I'm very selective with people who come in my group because I want to protect my group. I advocate for my group, advocate for the spirit of it. And I think that's been probably why it's so vibrant and that sort of thing. So
yeah, well, one thing I noticed is like you've created almost like a little family. It's almost like you got say 2,000 people in your group, but it's like a big, large family.
it
So
is.
able to cultivate that type of culture within your group, and you being selective on who you're actually choosing, that probably has a lot to do with your culture and the atmosphere within the group.
Yeah, I hope so. And we're really we're very swift to remove group members as well. Anytime anybody posts anything that's like spammy or in any way like negative towards another person or anything, we don't tolerate that. We want this to be a place where because I have a lot of like dead new beginners, right? They literally do not know what is going on and they are trying to figure it out. And I want them to feel safe. I want them to feel like, hey, it's okay to come here and ask questions that maybe, are just really like green and brand new questions, and not get bashed by people who are like, like that's just, there's no place for that. I want this to be a safe place where people feel like they can learn and grow and become and do so in a supported manner. So yeah, that's important to me.
Yeah, like one key takeaway there too is not using too much techno babble and techno language, because I think that's going to scare people away and overwhelm
Absolutely.
people. And like you've been able to provide value in a way that doesn't scare people away. So, I mean, what you're
Thank
doing
you.
is absolutely amazing, and keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks.
So my next question for you is, I do have some questions on the moderators, but I'm going to save that for a little later on. So
Okay, sure.
I'm curious about your Facebook Lives, and do you have a certain schedule that you do, and what resources like do you do for Facebook Lives? Are you just winging it, or how does that work?
Winging it, baby. Just winging it. So, truthfully, really, it's funny because I actually said to my significant other, I was like, I cannot, like, after this interview, my plan for the rest of the day is I'm going to stay off of Facebook. I'm going to completely disconnect, and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do a whole bunch of strategy for my business. And one of the things was, gosh, I really need to get like a live schedule in place. Like I'm just all over the place. Like I just, if I come into contact and conversation with someone who I find interesting or has something valuable to maybe offer my tribe or teach my tribe or whatever, I'm like, hey, you want to do an interview tomorrow? Yeah, okay. Like there's no structure. It's just like, hey, when are you free? I probably should start like setting a day and time every week for lives, and I will do that. So I am going to start putting some structure around that, but truthfully, it's just been seat of my pants, just doing it, whatever, figuring it out. Some days I've gone live like 3-4 times a day. Other times I've gone 2 weeks and haven't gone live. So it's just been as capacity allows and as fate would have it. But there is going to become more or get more structured. In terms of interviewing people, I always make sure that I write out at least, 6-7 questions about what they're doing, maybe how they got to be doing what they're doing. I try to stay very present in my interviews. So I'm asking a lot of like unscripted follow-up questions just out of sheer curiosity of what they're saying and maybe digging a little bit deeper. Or if something was unclear, I'm like, okay, so what you're saying is just let me make sure I get this right, and, recapping and that kind of thing. Because I do know that I have a lot of beginners in my group. And so I want to make sure that if one of my interviewees kind of does go off into like jargon or techno babble, that I'm like pulling them back and going, okay, so what you're saying is, and, you know, trying to not dumb it down, that's the wrong word, but, you know, make it understandable for everybody.
Yeah.
I was a nurse for 10 years, and part of being a nurse is learning how to translate very complex medical jargon into language that people can actually understand who are not from the medical industry, right? You have to explain things to family members, explain things to patients in a language that they can understand. So I think that those 10 years served me well in learning how to take complex concepts and break them down in a simple way and teach them.
That's excellent. Yeah, I noticed one thing the other day, actually, when you were doing your lives with the solo ad providers, and the one day I think you must have done, I think it was 3 lives, 3 different interviews, and I was like, holy cow, how is she doing this? Like, this is crazy. And so, you know, the amount of value that you can provide even in one day is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
So I have mad respect for what you're doing.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
So yeah, and I guess my next question is to do with more moderators, like, you know, people that are just getting started, you know, and they're slowly starting to build. Like even myself, I've got about close to 200 people in my group, and I had somebody approach me, they wanted to moderate my group, so I said, sure, why not?
Okay.
Like how do you set up your moderators? What exactly do they do? What's the purpose of that, and why do you use one?
So I think that is going to be a very personal decision for every group owner, right? Because your group, it's kind of like your baby. Like it's your baby. And so you're like, you know, you ask any new parent, like at what point are they comfortable letting, you know, someone who might be like a complete stranger watch their baby, right? Like, so it's one of those things. So you kind of start to feel like, okay, this is my baby. I've put my heart and soul into this. I have created a culture here, and you know that you have something good and special. So it's like, everybody's going to have to answer that question for themselves. So you said that you pulled in, or you allowed a moderator 200. I didn't allow a moderator till 1,200 members. I was very, very protective of my group for a long time. I actually had people approach me and I was like, I'm good, thanks. Like I was not there yet. So my comfort level didn't come till about 1,200. And the way that I sort of did it was I chose from active members of my group that I saw. I had seen them grow with me. You know, they had been there since the beginning. They had grown with me. They had just provided massive value. I knew their ethics. I knew that they knew what they were talking about. You know, one guy just would provide these like essay answers, and I was just like, dude, like you just took so much time to provide all this value. And you know, he clearly knew what he was talking about. So we started talking, and he didn't have his own group. And I was like, man, I would just love to kind of have you around a lot. Like you're doing such a good thing, and I want to formalize this. Like, can I put a ring on it? Let's do this, you know? So I actually approached him, you know, I approached him about it. And I actually approached the other one as well, because she's such a great copywriter. And, you know, I had seen her work, and I knew her from another group and knew that she was starting to get active in my group. And I thought, you know, it would be such a cool thing to be able to give these guys who they themselves hadn't started groups, but they had some skills, give them a platform, give them a way to kind of elevate their profile in the community, let people get to know them, and get acquainted with who they are and what they do. So we just sort of, and I just said, like, guys, really all you need to do is just be active like an hour a day. Like no more, no less, an hour a day, go in, answer questions, approve memberships, approve posts, you know, just kind of try to be me in there if you can, you know, just do that. And they're doing a great job, a really great job. The way that I am remunerating them is, so inside of my resources document, instead of it being just my links now, we use a link rotator, and it's the 3 of us. All of our links are in there. So it's in a link rotator, and every third time somebody clicks on one of those links, they're getting affiliate commissions. So that's how I'm remunerating them in my group. Doesn't mean everybody has to do that, but that's just the agreement I came to with them. So, and it's been so far great. It's been really, really awesome, because they're actually answering people in unique and nuanced ways that I might not. And so I love that people are getting some maybe a little bit more nuanced answers. And actually, you know, I've actually brought in some other people into my group, and we're expanding now. And that's another thing. We're going to be supporting people in a more nuanced way, because everybody kind of has a different take on things. They have different experience levels, they're coming from different industries, et cetera. So they're going to have different insights, which is really, really cool. I love that.
Definitely. And what a
Yeah,
great way to give them some sort of monetized return as well
absolutely. Absolutely.
with the
I want to
rotator.
make it equitable. They're putting in the work. Yeah, they should be getting paid. Absolutely.
One thing I guess I wasn't aware that you can actually rotate your links inside of a Google Doc. That's
It's
pretty cool. So that's a
it's
lot of
very
idea right
cool. Yeah, it's actually we use it's a free service. It's called Link2. It's link.to, I believe. And it's just a free link rotator service. You can drop as many links into one rotator as you want, and then you have a single link, and that link just behaves. You know, every time it's clicked, it goes to the next link inside of the rotation. And so, you know, it's a nice way to equitably monetize and remunerate everybody involved in a project.
That's excellent. That's a ton of value right there.
No problem.
I guess my next question for you is, do you have a daily goal for your Facebook group, or do you just like what's the goal for the day? Like when you get up in the morning and you're thinking about, okay, what am I going to do in my Facebook group today? Like, what's your goal for the day?
That's a really good question. And I don't know that I have like a really like clean answer for that. My goal every day is I definitely want to see growth, but not growth for growth's sake. I want to see the right kind of people coming in, like I said before, but I want to see growth. I want also to I want to make sure that everybody's questions get answered. It kind of drives me nuts. I'm a little bit OCD about my like notifications, and if I see questions not getting answered, that kind of drives me nuts. So I want to make sure everybody feels supported. I want to make sure everybody gets their questions answered. You know, I think that as I move ahead, you know, once you and I jump off the call, I'm going to be probably setting some goals for my group every day. I haven't been that structured about it. And truthfully, this question actually is a wonderful opportunity for me to get a little bit more structured. Also, as you know, yesterday we announced this partnership in the group. As we kind of grow and expand our focus and that sort of thing, we will have you know, at least daily, weekly, monthly goals for the group. We will, and not just for the group, but also for the business that we're creating, the projects that we're doing. We'll definitely have a little more structure around that. But, you know, I always say this kind of jokingly, I'm living proof that you can not be super technically inclined, because I'm not. I kind of like screw up my Zoom lives all the time. I do like, you know, cut people out, just weird things happen. So I'm not super technically inclined. I don't have it all together. I'm like, I don't have this grand master plan. I'm just kind of winging it a lot of the time. But even if you have those handicaps, if you just really give a crap, if you really care a lot and you really show people that you care and you really just put yourself out there and support people, and don't constantly make it about, you know, what am I going to get in return? Just help. It's amazing what flows back to you. And I wasn't always convinced of that. I had to kind of just let go a little bit and realize like I may not monetize every interaction, and that's okay. Because that was the brand I wanted to put forward. I wanted to make sure people understood that I cared. I wanted to make sure people understood that they were supported no matter what, whether they had a dime to their name or not. They were supported because I knew somehow it was going to come back, or I figured it might. And it started to happen. And I was like, okay, I can relax. I can relax about the money, and I can just make it about my people. And the more you make it about your people, weirdly enough, the more the money score starts to even. It's strange, but it starts to happen. So I had to just kind of trust a little bit and let go. And you can not do everything right and still do very well in this game. And that's, I want to convey that peace of mind to people. You can screw it up a lot and still do okay. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
Well, I mean, you're definitely going down the right path, because every internet marketer that I follow, they're all using that same concept of they're giving more than they're actually receiving. Some of the top guys I follow, obviously, we're both huge fans of Russell Brunson's work. I'm not sure if you know who Stephen James is from Project Life Mastery. He's a huge, he's got a big YouTube channel of 750,000
Wow.
subscribers. He's an absolute beast. I love his work too. He gives so much and just provides so much value. So, I mean, a lot of the top internet marketers in the world, that's exactly what they're doing. And you're doing that inside of your
Yeah.
Facebook group. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you're just crushing it.
Thanks, man.
So, okay, I think that's pretty much it for today's interview. And I appreciate your insight. I think this interview was excellent, gave a lot of great insights on how to actually monetize your group, how
Mm-hmm.
to actually run a business inside of your Facebook group. Um, just so much value that you give. And again, like, it's a testimony of what you're doing. And I love what you're doing, and I'm going to continue to engage in your group and continue to follow your journey as well. So I'm excited to, like, I can't wait to actually share this live on YouTube. That's where I'm going to post it. I'm going to share it in my
Awesome.
group, and hopefully you put it in your group as well.
Awesome. I can't wait. This is awesome. I'm excited. I'm excited you're a group member of mine. I actually met you in another group. I think it was Jordan's group. And, you know, right away, I noticed, you know, the caliber of your posts, the caliber of your engagement, your voice came through loud and clear. Who you were came through loud and clear. And it's just, I love tribe building, community building. And so for me, like, getting to know like-minded people who sort of, whose values align and all that stuff, that's exciting for me. And that's part of what makes this game so fun and so rewarding, is connecting with other like-minded people. So I've appreciated this so much.
Awesome. Well, thanks for taking this Saturday morning with me, and
You got it.
you rock.
Thanks, you too.
Okay.